Hello everyone, welcome to Business Live. Coming up tonight, business activities impacted by fire that ravaged a shopping complex at the Makula Market in the Central Business District of Accra.
They should come to our head. Our things are burning. It's burning. No, they should come. The fire service are not doing anything before the thing gets out of hand.
We will be taking you there live. Meanwhile, the Ghana Union of Traders Association calls for a committee to investigate market fires and offer long-term solutions.
I've even suggested in the past that we should find a way that we should include insurance levies in the premises fees that we pay to AMA.
Also tonight at the KJTR market, it's not fire, it is flooding. Traders are blaming city authorities and the Brazilian construction firm contractor for the water that engulfed the newly built market following last week's downpour. We'll bring you details of those stories and others in this half hour of business news. Thanks for joining us once again. My name is Darryl Kwao. Well, it's not been a great start to the week for some traders at the Makula Market at the Central Business District of Accra. Thousands of cedis worth of goods have been destroyed today by fire, which gutted a three-story building, shopping complex. Now, business activities have come to a standstill there. And Maxwell Gbagba is live for us at the Makula Market to paint the picture for us. What's the latest, Maxwell?
So just like you rightly mentioned, the daily activities that you normally see here at the Central Business District has come to a halt. Many of the traders since morning when the fire started have not been able to do any meaningful business today. For those who occupy the shops that have been gutted by the fire, I mean, nothing whatsoever is happening. For businesses that are directly opposite this building also, they have been affected indirectly. So many of them have closed their shops since morning. The smoke at a point in time gets so unbearable that many of them have moved out from their shops, standing outside and watching the courageous firefighters douse the flames. A section of the road here in the Central Business District has been cordoned off to traffic. So that has one way or the other made the traffic situation, the already terrible traffic situation coming to the business district worse. So that has discouraged many people from coming here today because, of course, they've seen on JoyNews, they've heard on Joy FM our coverage of the fire situation here. So businesses are really affected here when it comes to the Central Business District. Many of them have closed down, but still they are not going home. Some of them just standing here watching the firefighters as they douse the flames. Some of the market women, some of the traders here who I've been speaking to tell me that their prayer now is that the fire wouldn't spread to their shops. And that is what the firefighters on the ground are also ensuring that it does not happen. So they are still on their turntable ladders, going straight directly to the fire and making sure they douse it right from the source. I have the PRO, Ellis Robinson Oko, here with me. Let's speak to him and let's find out. Is the situation under control now?
Yes, the situation is under control.
So what is happening? What is happening now? Are we trying to prevent the fire from... What exactly is happening?
As you can see, Our men have been able to get to the seat of the fire, and they are dousing everything. There are some containers up there, and they were locked. And so we have some fires inside those containers. And our men are there breaking those containers, the metal containers, to ensure that the fires inside are totally doused.
Wow. But what has made it difficult to douse these flames? I'm told there are a lot of combustible materials like hair, like perfumes, like spray and other things in those shops. What has made it difficult for you?
That's exactly what you said. There are a lot of combustible materials inside, and all of them react to the fire in a different way. So you realize that sometimes you use water to douse. At a certain point in time, we have to use foam compound to douse. So depending on the material that is burning, and we use the appropriate medium to douse it. Okay.
Well, earlier we heard that when the first water tender got here to this burning flame, they were told that they didn't have water in the water tender, so they had to call for help from elsewhere. What exactly was the situation when the first water tender arrived here? Was it the case that the water tender from the fire service station, which is just meters away from this place, they don't have water?
The first tender that came here is not from the fire service station here.
Okay.
Like I said initially, the tender over here has been booked out of commission. It's 40, and because of that, it could not be used at that moment. But the second pump, or the second one that came in, that's the first pump, is coming from the ministry's fire station. Okay. And that's what did the firefighting from the initial stage.
But I'm also, I mean, for a place like the Central Business District, when you have a lot of businesses, when a water tender is broken down, shouldn't there be like a replacement of a sort, or you didn't see this coming?
My brother, I agree with you. It's an emergency vehicle that works 24/7. And if human beings can even break down, then a fire tender that works 24/7, a machine, can also break down. As I speak to you, it has been sent to the workshop and they are working on it.
Now, when I spoke to the Member of Parliament for Ododo, he mentioned that there are a lot of illegal connections here in this market. What is the Ghana National Fire Service doing about the situation? Because if we do not do anything about it, it's going to recur. I remember that a committee that was formed to investigate market fires mentioned illegal connections as one of the causes. What is the Ghana National Fire Service doing about the situation?
Now we need to engage the Electricity Company of Ghana to identify and then deal with the illegal connections. For fire service, we don't have the power to deal with illegal connections. We can identify and only notify electricity company to, deal with it.
Okay. So how many water tenders have been here so far today?
We have 9, and then 1 coming from the armed forces.
Okay. So at what point would you say this will come to an end? It looks like if you're unable to douse the flames, you're not going home today.
We have to finish before we leave here. We'll make sure we douse every little pocket of fire before we leave here.
Will this be the point where the Ghana National Fire Service will come here to check the connections, the electricity connections here in the Central Business District? I know you've been doing that.
Like I said, it is the duty of electricity company. We work hand in hand with them. So first of all, we need to, after firefighting, we need to check the structural integrity of this building. That will be done by the Environmental Protection Agency. Okay. To see whether it is good for occupancy. If it is not strong enough, then maybe the structure would have to be pulled down. Okay. Yes, but we don't have the power to do that. We will ensure that the appropriate authority will come and check the structural integrity of the building. Okay. Yes.
Thank you very much for talking to us. So, Dari, just heard from Ellis Robinson. He's the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service. There's still a lot of work going on there. As you heard him say, you're trying to fight the fire right from its source. So these courageous firefighters are trying to identify the pockets of flames still within the shop and trying to control it. So what we have had here is that there are times when you really would not find, the smoke of cloud, but just within minutes when they're able to identify the source, then you get a smoke of cloud, engulfing this whole place. What they are trying to do is to make sure that they douse all the pockets of fires within this building before they leave. It looks the case that if they're not done, they cannot move from this place. At this point, we have some market women, some of them trying to salvage what is left. Properties running into, thousands of Ghana cedis have gone up in flames. Now, I see one firefighter who has entered one of the shops here. We want to understand what he's trying to do.
Right, Maxwell, I may have missed it, but are we able to establish the cause of the fire? Did he indicate or did he confirm that it was as a result of an electrical fault?
I don't want to speak on camera.
Okay, so what are you trying to do? What are you trying to...
I'm trying to take my bag.
You're trying to take your bag?
Yes.
At what time did the fire start? I'm not putting your face on TV. At what time did the fire start? Okay, well, she's not willing to speak to us. Obviously, you can understand her mood. But what she's trying to do is to get her bag, which is strapped in shop number 10, down here. Luckily, though, her wares are still intact. Her wares are still intact, but she's trying to get her bag and leave this place at this point. Well, we've been speaking to some of the people here, some of the eyewitnesses here. They tell us that it was a power outage, and then they tried using a generator here. They were not successful with that. That generator is still hanging at the edge of the story building here in the Central Business District. We're trying to get some of the people who are working here to speak to us. Initially, some of the traders who were here were quite agitated. Many of them wanted to breach the protocol, wanted to breach the cordon just so they could enter their shop and salvage the rest of the things here. But security personnel deployed here did not allow them. In fact, we can see the military stationed very close, ensuring that there's decorum here, ensuring that the firefighters have a serene environment to fight this fire. But this whole structure, the roofing of this whole structure has been completely ripped off. You had the PR of the Ghana National Fire Service. He talked about the structural integrity. What we can see from a layman's perspective, we can see cracks already developing in a section of the building. Specifically the first floor and then the second floor, visible cracks have already started developing in the building. And like you mentioned, as you heard, the public relations of the Ghana National Fire Service, Ellis Robinson Oko, he says after they're able to fight this fire, they would have to do an assessment to see if the structural integrity has not been affected. If it has been affected, what would have to happen is that they have to bring this whole structure down. Firefighters still trying to reach the source of the fire with their turntable ladders, fighting the fire directly from the source. Quite a difficult thing to do, actually. Many of us have had to cover our faces with moist
Wow, you're seeing there for yourselves pictures from the Makula market there. Maxwell Gbagba has been reporting about the fire outbreak early today. As he's indicated, the fire officials are still trying to douse the fire there after several hours. Traders have lost so much property worth thousands of Ghana cedis. It's getting to evening. Hopefully, the fire officials would be able to douse the fire there, and traders will, for the first time, be able to visit their shops and sort of look through what they can salvage, if there's anything they can salvage at all, but it appears that this is going to change the course of their businesses going forward. If they haven't insured their properties there, they have a lot to think about, and for them, it's just the beginning of an end maybe for the traders. But we continue to monitor we continue to monitor the developments at the Makola market. If we have to go back to Maxwell, we'll take you back there. And like the PRO of the fire service indicated, this is generating conversation for a look at the structural integrity of our markets going forward. This is not the first fire, mind you. There have been several of them. This is time to take action, and the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng, has been reiterating that fact. Earlier, he spoke with my colleague Charles Aite, where he asked for a committee, including the Ghana National Fire Service, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the National Insurance Commission to investigate causes of fire and spell out long-term solutions.
It's about the insurance companies even taking the risk. When they come and when the place is so congested and all that, they don't have the appetite to insure shops like that, especially those in open areas where shops are clustered and all that. So that's why I've even suggested in the past that we should find a way that we should include insurance levies in the premises fees that we pay to AMA. And I've suggested, and I keep on suggesting, I'm waiting for a time that it will be accepted and then rolled on. So most of these people are there and then their money is gone down the drain, just like that. So this particular one, I'm not happy because this thing keeps reoccurring and there's no solution in sight. And then one serious thing is that when it starts like this, then it keep on coming. If care is not taken, we hear from other areas also burning and all that. And we don't understand. So we should have an institutional framework that will protect us regarding the fire outbreaks in the market. And that's very important that we should do. Otherwise, we lose all our capital to fire outbreaks.
Somewhere in the first quarter, in the first half of this year, we had the issue with that of the market, the Kaneshie market. You were there and you spoke about some collaborations, that must be, made between the AMA, the Fire Service, GUTA, and even that of the National Insurance Commission. Any update on any collaboration so far?
I told you when there are issues like this, people come and talk. They'll come to your studios and talk. And then when you want to pursue it as trade union like this, it doesn't go anywhere. They will promise us modern market premises and all that. Those are talks to calm down people's nerves during the periods like that.
Well, next, we take you to the Ashanti region, KJTL market to be specific, where they're dealing with a different kind of a situation. They're not dealing with fire, they're dealing with flooding, and they're blaming city authorities and construction firm contractor for floods that destroyed goods. Now, 2 days of downpour last Wednesday and Thursday flooded the ground floor of the market, affecting over 500 stores. Now, some trade unions at the market blame the Brazilian construction firm contractor for shoddy work.
New market. Thursday's rains left many traders and residents devastated. Roof leakages at the new KJTL market was an eyesore. Some leaders of the traders blame construction firm contractor for shoddy work. Patricia Echampon is disappointed.
Contractor, idea we or yeah, medium who is a amwedano. Got us no emususa. And tinsuana airbano. A drew baby, even baby on my chroma the idea to and I'm say a muson into no, and so I didn't to me a day, a peja. And soon I want then a brush na pejano. Tis I didn't muson. Na a muya cassian and consume in your coin, a penetrator and a mini sank a bit me a day. I be say a hassa.
Consultant to the multinational firm contractor, Emmanuel Danso considers the flooding to be a widespread disaster, not peculiar to KJTL market. He says the drainage system connecting racecourse to zoo and other areas around the market were choked. Mr. Danso cautioned traders against indiscriminate disposal of solid waste.
The mainstream that comes from zoo has a lot of contributing factor from Pampaso, Mrum, all the surroundings join zoo and then passes through Kejetia. So I feel that major garbages that they put into the drain has been the cause of the distance. I believe we all have to look at Kumasi drainage system. That might be the cause.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Kejetia Petty Traders Association, Nana Prempe, has called for the re-engineering of the drainage system.
After the rain subside, if you look into the drainage system, you realize that old folks' shoes and other things, they were all dumped in the drainage system that has choked. Then also, the contractors have made us to understand that the entire Central Business District of Kumasi, the drainage system need re-engineering. So as a matter of urgency, I think they should do the re-engineering of the drainage system of the Central Business District.
He also wants authorities to relocate traders unlawfully plying their wares on pavement around the Kejetia market.
They told us that 100 meters to the facility, 100 meters to the new Kejetia market, no one will be allowed to sell there. But when you come around, even within the entrance of the new facility, you see squatters, you see petty traders who are not eligible to enter there, plying their trade there. So I propose to the Assembly that henceforth, people who are selling by the roadside, people who the law does not allow them to do their trading at unauthorized places, the assemblies will have the teeth to bite. If they do, I think it will be one of the major steps to reduce the refuse that majority of the people put inside the drainages.
On Money Lab today, we are still looking at the various types of investments that investors can invest in on the Ghanaian markets. We have looked at treasury bills and treasury bonds. For today, we want to have a discussion on corporate bonds. Just as we have treasury bonds being governments, we also have corporate bonds where investors lend money to other corporate institutions, especially multinationals. These multinationals use these funds to finance their operations. As investors, the key things that we need to look out for when we have a corporate bond available is to ensure that the company we are lending money to has the ability to repay us on maturity or to repay our interest as and when they fall due. So it is very important that that company is assessed. You look at the revenue and the cost structure of the company in order to establish whether the company has the ability to repay you your money. It is important, as I always say, that you don't do these things on your own. It is very key that you contact an investment house where we have professionals who are trained in this field to do an assessment or a due diligence on these companies before you do any investments with them. Join us as we continue our discussion on the types of investments that we have available.
All right, and that's a summary of international business news. We continue to follow developments at Makula Market for you. Be sure to join us for the JoyNews Prime Bulletin. My name is Darryl Kwao.